back to our class. In this class today we have to discuss about geography second chapter, India physiography. This is the most important chapter. From this chapter 1, 2 and 3 marks questions, also map places will come. So you have to concentrate and note all the important points and places. Okay, let's discuss about this lesson. You know that our India is a vast country. It has a variety of landforms. These landforms include like mountains, plateaus, then plains, coastal plains and valleys. These have mainly influence on the river system, climate, land uses, then agriculture, natural vegetation and also transport system. Physiographic divisions of India. On the basis of physiographic India can be divided into 4 major divisions. They are, the first one is the northern mountains, second one the northern Great Plains, third one the Peninsula Plateau and fourth one the coastal plains and islands. The northern mountains means Uttara Parvatagalu anta kariತೀವಿ. These extend as a continuous chain along the northern boundary of India. ಇವು ಭಾರತದ ಉತ್ತರದ ಗಡಿಗೆ ಹೊಂದಿಕೊಂಡಂತೆ ಹಬ್ಬಿರುವಂತಹ ಪರ್ವತ ಸರಣಿಗಳಾಗಿವೆ. And they comprise of the Himalayas, which are a group of young-fold mountains. ಇದು young-fold mountains ಗಳ ಗುಂಪಿಗೆ ಸೇರಿದಂತಹ ಹಿಮಾಲಯ ಶ್ರೇಣಿಗಳನ್ನು ಒಳಗೊಂಡಿದೆ. Now let's understand briefly about fold mountains. young-fold mountains ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮಡಿಕೆ ಪರ್ವತಗಳು ಎಂದು ಕರೆಯುತ್ತೇವೆ. ಈ ಮಡಿಕೆ ಪರ್ವತಗಳಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಈ ಹಿಮಾಲಯ ಪರ್ವತಗಳು. ಈ ಹಿಮಾಲಯ ಪರ್ವತವು ಮಡಿಕೆ ಪರ್ವತಗಳಿಂದ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಫೋಲ್ಡ್ ಮೌಂಟೇನ್ಸ್ ನಿಂದ ರಚನೆಯಾಗಿವೆ. ಇವು ಹೇಗೆ ರಚನೆಯಾಗಿವೆ ಎಂಬುದನ್ನು ತಿಳಿಯೋಣ. ಈ ಭೂಖಂಡಗಳ ರಚನೆಯ ಸಿದ್ಧಾಂತದ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಯುರೇಷಿಯಾ ಭಾಗವು ದಕ್ಷಿಣಕ್ಕೂ ಹಾಗೂ ಭರತಖಂಡವು ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ಭಾಗದಿಂದ ಉತ್ತರಕ್ಕೆ ಮೇಲ್ಮುಖವಾಗಿ ಚಲಿಸುವಾಗ ಇವು ಪರಸ್ಪರ ಡಿಕ್ಕಿ ಹೊಡೆದು ಘರ್ಷಣೆ ಏರ್ಪಟ್ಟಾಗ ಈಗಿನ ಈ ಹಿಮಾಲಯ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಳಗಿದ್ದಂತಹ ಭೂಪ್ರದೇಶ ಮೇಲಕ್ಕೆ ಏರುತ್ತಾ ಬಂತು. ಸೊ ಅದರ ಫಲವಾಗಿಯೇ ಈ ಹಿಮಾಲಯ ಪರ್ವತಗಳು ಉಗಮವಾದವು. ಹೀಗೆ ಈ ಭೂಖಂಡಗಳು ಒಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಚಲಿಸುತ್ತಾ ಡಿಕ್ಕಿ ಹೊಡೆದು ಈ ಮಣ್ಣಿನ ಪದರಗಳು ಒಂದರ ಮೇಲೊಂದು ಮಡಿಚಿಕೊಂಡಂತೆ ಎತ್ತರಕ್ಕೆ ಬೆಳೆಯುತ್ತಾ ಹೋದವು. ಸೊ ಇದರಿಂದ ಈ ಹಿಮಾಲಯ ಪರ್ವತವು ಉಗಮವಾಯಿತು. ದ ನಾರ್ದರ್ನ್ ಮೌಂಟೇನ್ಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ highest peaks, then deep valleys. Deep valleys means a low area of land between hills or mountains with a river or stream flowing through it. The next one is gorges. Gorges means a narrow valley between hills or mountains with the steep rocky walls and a stream running through it. Then next one is glaciers means ಹಿಮನದಿ otherwise ಹಿಮ ಪ್ರವಾಹ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. A slowly moving mass or river of ice form. Then last one is passes means ಕಣಿವೆ ಮಾರ್ಗ ಎಂದು ಕರೆಯುತ್ತೇವೆ. ಇವೆಲ್ಲವೂ ಈ ನಾರ್ದರ್ನ್ ಮೌಂಟೇನ್ಸ್ ಒಳಗೊಂಡಿವೆ. They are the highest mountain ranges in the world. They are made up of folded mountains. For example, Himalayas in Asia. For 1 mark question will come, write the extent of the northern mountains. The answer is, in India they extend from the Indus Gorge in the west to the Brahmaputra Gorge in the east for 2400 kilometers. Its width varies from 240 to 320 kilometers. They became broader in the west and later they became narrower in the east. They almost covered an area of about 5 lakh square kilometers. Generally, they have steep slopes towards India, then gentle slopes towards Tibet in a north part. ಭಾರತದ ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ಭಾರತದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಕಡಿದಾದಂತಹ ಇಳಿಜಾರು ಮತ್ತೆ ಈ ಟಿಬೆಟ್ನ ಉತ್ತರದ ಭಾಗದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಬಳಿದಾದಂತಹ ಇಳಿಜಾರಿನಿಂದ ಕೂಡಿದೆ. ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ವಿಲ್ ಕಮ್ ಫಾರ್ 1 mark. Mention the 3 parallel ranges of the Himalayas. Answer is Greater Himalayas, Lesser Himalayas and Shivalik Hills. The Greater Himalayas. The Greater Himalayas are the innermost, continuous and highest ranges. For 1 mark question will come. which are the innermost continuous and highest ranges of the Himalayas? The answer is the Greater Himalayas, and the average height of the range is 6,100 meters. These ranges have many high peaks. Among them, Mount Everest. It is situated in Nepal and Tibet region, China. Its height is 8,848 meters. It is the highest peak in the world. And another one important peak, Nanda Devi. It is situated in Uttarakhand state. And next one, Manaslu. Its height is 8,156 meters. It is situated in Nepal. Dhaulagiri, its height is 8,172 meters. It is situated in west central Nepal. And next, Makalu, its height is 8,481 meters. It is mainly situated in Nepal and Tibet region, China. And the next one is Kanchanjunga. It is situated in the eastern Himalayas on the border between Sikkim state. So it is the third highest mountain in the world. Question will come. Mention the important peaks of the Greater Himalayas. Then you have to write these 7 important peaks. And another one question will come. Which is the highest peak in the world? Answer is Mount Everest. Question will come for 1 mark. Why the Greater Himalayas are called Himadri? The answer is, as the Greater Himalayas are covered with the snow throughout the year, so these ranges are called Himadri. The Greater Himalayas are the home of many glaciers, among them Gangotri glaciers and another one is Yamunotri glaciers. For 1 more question will ask, what are the important glaciers of the Greater Himalayas? Otherwise mention the important glaciers of the Greater Himalayas. Then you have to write Gangotri and Yamunotri. There are many passes in the Greater Himalayas such as Barzil, then next Zojila and Shipkila. For 1 more question will ask, what are the Trans-Himalayas? Answer is the mountains lying to the northwest of the Himadri. They are called Trans-Himalayas. ಈ ಹಿಮಾದ್ರಿಯ ಉತ್ತರ ಭಾಗಕ್ಕೆ ಕಂಡು ಬರುವಂತಹ ಪರ್ವತಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಹೊರ ಹಿಮಾಲಯ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಹಿಮಾಲಯಸ್ ಎಂದು ಕರೆಯುತ್ತಾರೆ. And next one is they comprise of Karakoram range where the highest peak K2 or Mount Godwin Austen is located. It is the highest peak in India. For 1 more question will ask, which is the highest peak in India? Then you have to write K2 or Mount Godwin Austen. For map, places will ask like this, K2 or Mount Godwin Austen. Otherwise, the highest peak in India, then you have to mark in an exact place. Even Karakoram range will also come in your exam. Then you have to mark in an exact place. The Lesser Himalayas, just observe this arrow mark. This part is called the Lesser Himalayas. These ranges are located to the south of the Greater Himalayas. They are also known as Himachal. For 1 more question will ask, what is the other name of the Lesser Himalayas? Then answer Himachal. Actually, Lesser Himalayas also called Inner Himalayas, Lower Himalayas or Middle Himalayas, also Himachal, because it lies between the Shivaliks in the south and Greater Himalayas in the north. So it runs almost parallel to the both ranges. So it is also called Himachal. Then they are almost 60 to 80 kilometers wide. Then they are around 1,500 to 4,500 meters high. Even the Lesser Himalayas eastern part is completely covered with the forest. Question will ask, mention the important parallel ranges in the Lesser Himalayas. There are many parallel ranges in the Lesser Himalayas. They are mainly Pir Panjal, Dhauladhar, Nagatiba, Mussoorie, then Mahabharat and Darjeeling. Question will ask like this, Name the important valleys of the lesser Himalayas. Then you have to write the important valleys. First one, Kashmir Valley, then Kangra Valley and Kulu Valley. After that, one more type question will come. List out the important hill stations of the lesser Himalayas. Actually, these lesser Himalayas are very famous for many hill stations such as Shimla, Ranikhet, then Mussoorie and Nainital. After that, Darjeeling. These 5 important hill stations you have to write. The Shivalik Hills. Just observe the arrow mark. That yellow part is called Shivalik Hills. They are the outermost ranges or foothills located to the south of the main Himalayas. ಇವು ಹಿಮಾಲಯದ ಹೊರಗಿನ ಅಥವಾ ಹಿಮಾಲಯದ ಪಾದಭಾಗದ ಸರಣಿಗಳಾಗಿದ್ದು ಹಿಮಾಲಯದ ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿದೆ. And question asked like this, which are the outermost ranges or foothills of the main Himalayas? Then answer you have to write Shivalik Hills. If question will come like this, what is the outer name of the Shivalik Hills? Then write Outer Himalaya. And they are the lowest range of the Himalayas. ಈ ಶಿವಾಲಿಕ್ ಬೆಟ್ಟಗಳು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಎತ್ತರವುಳ್ಳಂತಹ ಹಿಮಾಲಯದ ಭಾಗಗಳಾಗಿವೆ. And its height of 600 to 1500 meters. Its width is 50 to 150 kilometers. And they have flat bottom, longitudinal structure valleys, so which are known as dunes. ಇವು ಸಮತಟ್ಟಾದ ತಳವುಳ್ಳ ಕಣಿವೆಗಳನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿದ್ದು ಅವುಗಳನ್ನು ಡೂನ್ಸ್ ಎನ್ನುವರು. ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ನಾವು ನೋಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ ಡೆಹ್ರಾಡೂನ್. ದ ಶಿವಾಲಿಕ್ ಹಿಲ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಡ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಜಮ್ಮು ಅಂಡ್ ಕಾಶ್ಮೀರ್ ಇನ್ ದ ವೆಸ್ಟ್ and Arunachal Pradesh in the east. Importance of Shivalik range. It is repeated and important question. For 3 mark question will come. So you have to note all the important points and practice well. Okay, let's see one by one all the important points. The first one is the Himalayas act as natural frontiers. Then they prevent from foreign invasion. Then they prevent the cold winds from the Central Asia and they obstruct the rain bearing winds. Then it causes for heavy rainfall. ಈ ಹಿಮಾಲಯ ಪರ್ವತಗಳು ನೈಸರ್ಗಿಕ ಗಡಿಗಳಾಗಿದ್ದು ಇವು ವಿದೇಶಿಯರ ದಾಳಿಯಿಂದ ಹಾಗೂ ಮಧ್ಯ ಏಷ್ಯಾದಿಂದ ಬೀಸುವಂತಹ ಶೀತ ಗಾಳಿಗಳನ್ನು ನಿಯಂತ್ರಿಸುತ್ತವೆ ಮತ್ತು ಈ ಮಳೆ ಮಾರುತಗಳನ್ನು ತಡೆದು ಅಧಿಕವಾಗಿ ಮಳೆಯಾಗಲು ನೆರವಾಗುತ್ತವೆ. And their slopes have thick forest and also ideal for plantation crops. ಇವುಗಳ ಇಳಿಜಾರುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ದಟ್ಟವಾದಂತಹ ಕಾಡುಗಳಿದ್ದು ಮತ್ತೆ ಇವು ತೋಟದ ಬೆಳೆಗಳಿಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಸೂಕ್ತವಾಗಿವೆ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ನಾವು ನೋಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ ಆಸಾಂನ ಚಹಾ ತೋಟಗಳು ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ದೇ ಆರ್ ದ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಹೌಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಿನರಲ್ಸ್. ಈ ಶಿವಾಲಿಕ್ ಹಿಲ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಖನಿಜಗಳ ಉಗ್ರಾಣಗಳಾಗಿವೆ. Even they create many waterfalls. By this it is used to generate hydroelectric power. Even they are the birthplace of many rivers. ಈ ಶಿವಾಲಿಕ್ ಬೆಟ್ಟಗಳು ಹಲವು ನದಿಗಳ ಉಗಮ ಸ್ಥಾನವಾಗಿದ್ದು ಇಲ್ಲಿನ ಈ ಜಲಪಾತಗಳು ಜಲವಿದ್ಯುತ್ ಶಕ್ತಿಯ ಉತ್ಪಾದನೆಗೆ ತುಂಬಾನೇ ಉಪಯುಕ್ತವಾಗಿರೋದನ್ನ ನಾವು ನೋಡಬಹುದು. The Northern Great Plain, it is mainly lies between the Himalayas and the Peninsular Plateau of India. ಹಿಮಾಲಯ ಪರ್ವತಗಳ ಮತ್ತು ಈ ಪರ್ಯಾಯ ಪ್ರಸ್ಥಭೂಮಿಯ ನಡುವೆ ಈ ಉತ್ತರದ ಮೈದಾನವು ವಿಸ್ತರಿಸಿದೆ. This northern Great Plain is formed by the depositional work of 3 river systems, namely first one Sutlej, then Ganga and also the Brahmaputra. ಈ ಉತ್ತರದ ಮೈದಾನವು ಸಟ್ಲೇಜ್, ಗಂಗಾ, ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಪುತ್ರ ಈ 3 ನದಿಗಳ ಸಂಚಯ ಕಾರ್ಯದಿಂದ ರಚನೆಯಾಗಿವೆ. Even it is the largest alluvial soil tract in the world. ಇದು ಪ್ರಪಂಚದ ಅತಿ ವಿಶಾಲವಾದ ಈ ಮೆಕ್ಕಲು ಮಣ್ಣು ಹೊಂದಿರುವಂತಹ ಮೈದಾನವಾಗಿದೆ. And also it extends from the east to west and its length of 2500 kilometers. Its average width is 240 to 340 kilometers. Even it covers area around 7 lakh square kilometers. This northern Great Plain is formed from the fertile alluvium deposited by the rivers flowing from the Himalayas. Even the plain is very flat. Also, the rocks are not exposed on the surface. ಇದು ತುಂಬಾನೇ ಸಮತಟ್ಟಾದಂತಹ ಮೈದಾನವಾಗಿದ್ದು ಇದರ ಮೇಲ್ಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿಯೂ ಕೂಡ ಕಲ್ಲುಗಳು ಕಂಡುಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. This is the important question for 3 marks. They will ask what are the importance of northern Great Plains. So you have to note this all the important points. The first one is it is very suitable for irrigation and agriculture. ಈ ಉತ್ತರ ಮೈದಾನವು ವಿಶಾಲವಾದಂತಹ ಮೈದಾನವಾಗಿದ್ದು ಇದು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಫಲವತ್ತಾಗಿದ್ದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಸರ್ವಕಾಲಿಕ ನದಿಗಳು ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಪೆರಿನಿಯಲ್ ರಿವರ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಹರಿಯೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಇವು ಕೃಷಿಗೆ ತುಂಬಾನೇ ಉಪಯುಕ್ತವಾಗಿವೆ. ಈ ಪೆರಿನಿಯಲ್ ರಿವರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸರ್ವಕಾಲಿಕ ನದಿಗಳು ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ನದಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಅಣೆಕಟ್ಟೆಗಳನ್ನು ನಿರ್ಮಿಸಿ ಜಲಾಶಯಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನೀರು ಸಂಗ್ರಹಿಸಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಈ ಕಾಲುವೆಯ ಮೂಲಕ ನೀರು ಪೂರೈಸುವುದೇ ಈ ಸರ್ವಕಾಲಿಕ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಈ ಪೆರಿನಿಯಲ್ ರಿವರ್ಸ್ ಎಂದು ಕರೆಯುತ್ತೇವೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ವ್ಯಾಸ್ಟ್ ಫರ್ಟೈಲ್ alluvial soil and its level land supports a network of roads, railways and means of communication. ಇಲ್ಲಿಯ ಸಮತಟ್ಟಾದಂತಹ ಭೂಮಿಯು ಈ ರಸ್ತೆ, ರೈಲು ಮತ್ತೆ ಈ ಮಾರ್ಗಗಳ ನಿರ್ಮಾಣಕ್ಕೂ ಮತ್ತು ಈ ಸಂಪರ್ಕ ಮಾಧ್ಯಮಕ್ಕೂ ತುಂಬಾನೇ ಅನುಕೂಲವಾಗಿರೋದನ್ನ ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು. ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಯೂಸ್ಫುಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಲೈಸೇಷನ್, ಅರ್ಬನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಟ್ರೇಡ್. ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಈ ಕೈಗಾರಿಕೀಕರಣ, ನಗರೀಕರಣ ಮತ್ತೆ ಈ ವ್ಯಾಪಾರಕ್ಕೆ ತುಂಬಾನೇ ಸಹಕಾರಿಯಾಗಿದೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ a number of pilgrimage centers are located here. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅನೇಕ ಯಾತ್ರಾ ಸ್ಥಳಗಳಿವೆ. The Peninsular Plateau, it is the largest physical divisions of India. It is the oldest landmass. It was being a part of the Gondwana land and it lies to the south of the Great Plain. ಭಾರತದ ಪ್ರಾಕೃತಿಕ ವಿಭಾಗಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಅತ್ಯಂತ ವಿಶಾಲವಾದುದು. ಇದು ಗೋಂಡ್ವಾನ ಭೂಭಾಗಕ್ಕೆ ಸೇರಿದ್ದು ಪುರಾತನ ಶಿಲೆಗಳಿಂದ ಇದು ರಚಿತವಾಗಿದೆ. ಇದು ಉತ್ತರದ ಮೈದಾನದಿಂದ ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿದೆ and it occupies about 16 lakh square kilometers. It is roughly triangular in shape. So its apex is formed by the Cape ಕನ್ಯಾಕುಮಾರಿ ಇಂದ ಸದ್ರನ್. ಇದು ತ್ರಿಕೋನಕಾರದಲ್ಲಿದ್ದು ಇದರ ಒಂದು ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ತುದಿಯು ಕನ್ಯಾಕುಮಾರಿ ಭೂಶಿರವಾಗಿದೆ. This peninsula plateau bounded by the mainly hills and plateaus, namely the Aravali range, then Vindhyas, Satpuras, Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats, Chota Nagpur and Deccan Plateau, also Malwa Plateau. The Aravali range, it is the oldest fold mountain. It lies to the northwest side and here is the Abu Hills. These Abu Hills are located in Aravali ranges. In this hill, the most important highest peak is Guru Shikhar. Guru Shikhar, this place will ask in your exam, so then you have to mark in exact place Rajasthan near. The Vindhyas range, this Vindhyas range flanks the northern edge of the Narmada valley. ಈ Vindhyas range ನರ್ಮದಾ ನದಿ ಕಣಿವೆಯ ಉತ್ತರದ ಅಂಚಿಗೆ ಹೊಂದಿಕೊಂಡಂತೆ ಹಬ್ಬಿದೆ. The Satpura range runs in the east-west direction south of the Vindhyas in the between ನರ್ಮದಾ ಅಂಡ್ ತಪಿ ರಿವರ್ಸ್. ಈ ಸಾತ್ಪುರ ರೇಂಜ್ ದಕ್ಷಿಣಕ್ಕೆ ನರ್ಮದಾ ಮತ್ತೆ ತಪಿ ನದಿಗಳ ನಡುವೆ ಪೂರ್ವ ಪಶ್ಚಿಮವಾಗಿದೆ. For 3 mark question will ask, it is very important and repeated question. What are the differences between Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats? Now let's understand one by one. The first one is Western Ghats are continuous range running parallel to the west coast of India from the Tapi Valley to Kanyakumari and they are also known as the Sahyadris. ಇವುಗಳನ್ನ ಪಶ್ಚಿಮ ಘಟ್ಟಗಳು ಎಂದು ಕರೆಯುತ್ತೇವೆ. ಇವು ತಪಿ ನದಿ ಕಣಿವೆಯಿಂದ ಕನ್ಯಾಕುಮಾರಿ ಭೂಶಿರದವರೆಗೆ ಪಶ್ಚಿಮ ಕರಾವಳಿಗೆ ಅರಬ್ಬಿ ಸಮುದ್ರ ತೀರಕ್ಕೆ ಸಮಾಂತರವಾಗಿ ಹಬ್ಬಿವೆ. ಇವುಗಳನ್ನ ಸಹ್ಯಾದ್ರಿ ಸರಣಿ ಅಂತಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಕರೆಯುತ್ತಾರೆ. ಈ ವೆಸ್ಟರ್ನ್ ಘಾಟ್ಸ್ ಯುನೆಸ್ಕೋನ ಪಟ್ಟಿಗೆ 2012ರಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇರಿವೆ and they run almost parallel to the east coast of India. They extend from the Mahanadi Valley in the north towards Nilgiri Hills in the south where they join the Western Ghats. ಭಾರತದ ಪೂರ್ವ ಕರಾವಳಿಗೆ ಹೊಂದಿಕೊಂಡಂತೆ ಇವು ಹಬ್ಬಿವೆ. ಉತ್ತರದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಹಾನದಿ ಕಣಿವೆಯಿಂದ ದಕ್ಷಿಣದಲ್ಲಿ ನೀಲಗಿರಿ ಬೆಟ್ಟದವರೆಗೆ ವಿಸ್ತರಿಸಿದ್ದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪಶ್ಚಿಮ ಘಟ್ಟಗಳನ್ನ ಇವು ಸೇರುತ್ತವೆ. ಅಂಡ್ the western ghats are very steep on the western side and very smooth on the eastern side. Even we can see some important passes in the western ghats. These are the Borghat, Talghat and Palghat. But in eastern ghats they are very lower than the western ghats and they are not continuous. And the south of the Palghat gap, western ghats continue as the Annamalai, the Palani and Cardamom hills. ಈ ಪಶ್ಚಿಮ ಘಟ್ಟಗಳು ಈ ಪಾಲ್ಘಟ್ ಕಣಿವೆಯ ದಕ್ಷಿಣಕ್ಕೆ ಅಣ್ಣಾಮಲೈ, ಪಳನಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಕಾರ್ಡಮಮ್ ಸರಣಿಗಳಾಗಿ ಮುಂದುವರಿಯುತ್ತವೆ. And also Annamudi in the Annamalai range, it is the highest peak in South India. ಈ ಅಣ್ಣಾಮಲೈ ಬೆಟ್ಟಗಳಲ್ಲಿರುವಂಥ ಈ ಅಣ್ಣಾಮುಡಿ ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ಭಾರತದ ಅತಿ ಎತ್ತರವಾದ ಶಿಖರವಾಗಿದೆ. ಇನ್ ಈಸ್ಟರ್ನ್ ಘಾಟ್ಸ್ ದ ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪೀಕ್ ಇಸ್ ಅರ್ಮಾಕೊಂಡ. Some important places will come to your exam from Eastern Ghats and Western Ghats. So you have to mark this in exact places. Now let's see. The first one is Western Ghats. You just observe the arrow mark. This is Western Ghats and this is Eastern Ghat. This both place also come in your exam. Many times repeated these places. And next one Tapi Valley and Kanyakumari. Another one is Annaimudi. Sometime direct ask Annaimudi, otherwise ask the highest peak in South India. Then you have to mark in Kerala state. Then another important place Mahanadi Valley and Nilgiri Hills and Armakonda. These all the important places you have to learn. The Deccan Plateau bounded by Satpura and Vindhyas in the northwest side. Then the Western Ghats in the west side and Eastern Ghats in the east side. And the Mahadev and the Michael ranges in the north side. This Deccan Plateau bounded. The Chota Nagpur Plateau, it lies in the northeastern part of the peninsular. For 3 mark question will ask what are the importance of peninsular plateau. This peninsular plateau is very rich in minerals and it has thick forest and biodiversity. It has on southwest monsoon season, so it receives high rainfall and it is covered with the black soil, so it is useful for agriculture. The Western Ghats are the birthplace of many South Indian rivers. Even these are very useful for hydroelectric power and it is also well known for the hill stations. For example, we can see Ooty. The coastal plains, it extends from the Rana of Kutch in the west and the delta of the Ganga in the east. The coastal plains can be divided into 2 parts. For 3 marks question will come. It is very repeated and important question. What are the differences between Western Coastal Plain and Eastern Coastal Plain? Now let's understand about Western Coastal Plain. It lies between the Western Ghats and the Arabian Sea, and the Western Coastal Plain extends from the Rana of Kutch. This Rana of Kutch is located in Gujarat up to Kanyakumari, and the Western Coastal Plain is very narrow, steep and rocky. The Eastern Coastal Plain extends from north of river Subarnarekha to Kanyakumari. This Subarnarekha river flow mainly in 3 states. First one West Bengal, Jharkhand and Odisha. Next it lies between Eastern Ghats and Bay of Bengal. It is very broader than the Western Coastal Plain and here many rivers of South India flow across the Eastern Coastal Plain. And it can be divided into 3 parts. First one, the Konkan coast. The Konkan coast lies to the south of the Gujarat plain and it extends from Daman to Goa. The eastern coastal plain formed deltas, for example Mahanadi, Godavari and Krishna, also Kaveri river. And the eastern coastal plain is divided into 2 parts. The first one, Northern Sarkar, it is also called Utkal coast. It lies to the north of the river Krishna. Second one is the Karnataka coast. It extends from the Goa to Mangalore. And third one, Malabar coast. It extends from Mangalore to Kanyakumari. The southern part is called Coromandel Coast, and some lagoons are formed in the eastern coastal plain such as Lake Chilka, then Lake Pulicat and also Lake Koleru. Some important places will come from western and eastern coastal plain to your exam. So you have to mark this all the places in exact places. The first one is western coastal plain and eastern coastal plain, Rana of Kutch, Konkan coast, Karnataka coast, Malabar coast, Kanyakumari, then Coromandel coast and Utkal coast. The importance of coastal plains, it provides some natural harbors and it helps to carry on a foreign trade. The important natural harbors, the first one is Kandla, Mumbai, Jawaharlal Nehru, Marma Goa, New Mangalore and Kochi. The coastal plains are very useful for fishing, then production of salt and shipbuilding, also agriculture. Here can be found many beaches and also have here beautiful places, so they attract the tourists. By this it will helpful for developing of the Indian economy, and also the backwaters are very useful for the navigation. Islands of India, there are totally 247 islands in India. Among them 43 islands are in the Arabian Sea. The Lakshadweep Islands, they are in the Arabian Sea. They are formed by the corals. ಇವು ಹವಳದ ದ್ವೀಪಗಳಾಗಿವೆ. And remaining 204 islands are in the Bay of Bengal. The Andaman and Nicobar Islands are in the Bay of Bengal. Some important places will come to your exam. These are Arabian Sea, then Lakshadweep, the Bay of Bengal and Andaman and Nicobar Islands. These important places you have to mark in these exact places. Okay students, we have to stop our class. This lesson is completed. Note all important question points, all the map places and practice well. From this chapter you get good marks. Okay student, we will continue our classes with the new chapter. Till then, take care.